you might want to reconsider which panning option you're using when you have a stereo signal.
That sounds good, Reg.
You might not be panning your tracks the way you think you're panning your tracks. Let me explain really quick. So obviously we know the pan knob. If you were ever confused or wondering what this little sub menu on the pan knob has to offer, I'm going to break it down for you really quick. So by default, it's just on the balance option. If we right click it, it brings up stereo pan, balance, and binaural panner. I'll talk about binaural panner. I'll talk about this one another time. So essentially what a pan knob does is moves the stereo signal from left to right, right? But when you have it on balance knob, it's just balancing the stereo signal. So here's an example with my voice right now. My voice is a mono signal, right? That means the same information is coming right down the middle. There's no different left or right information coming at different times. It's a mono signal. So if I move the pan knob to the left, you're only going to hear me in your left at full capacity. If I move it to the right, you're only going to hear me in the right. So it doesn't matter with the mono signal. You might want to reconsider which panning option you're using when you have a stereo signal. I'm going to pull up Alchemy. So if I play this out, it has different stereo information, meaning there's left and right. If I take this pad, pan it to the left on balance mode, what I'm essentially doing is I'm really subtracting the information from the right, and vice versa. If I pan it to the right, I'm subtracting the stereo information from the left, but I'm not truly moving that full signal into the right or left speaker. Now, if I flip this to stereo pan, hear the difference. And you're gonna get a richer signal because 100% of that signal now is coming out of the left. I'm gonna move it to the right. We're getting 100% now in the right speaker, as opposed to, you could even hear it. You can hear the loss of power. So if that was a little confusing, listen up for this. I'm gonna create a drum track. Stock, we're gonna go analog traces. So if I play something, those are drums. Let's move the kick to the left. Let's move the snare to the right. So now we got, this should be dancing in your ears right now. So now let's see what happens when we balance pan our drums to the left. We completely lose the snare. Let's go right. What do you think we're gonna lose? If you guessed kicked, you'd be right. And it's because we're balancing the signal. We're not fully moving that signal left or right. We're just basically taking away the left or right. Now, if we convert to stereo pan, guess what's gonna happen? Full stereo action in left or right. We could take this. All the drums are gonna be mono when I start messing with this. Pretty cool, right? So I hope that provided a little bit of insight next time you're in the mix and you're panning your tracks.